Thank you, Tom. Good afternoon. As Tom said, we're looking at our reliability across the entire service areas, not only here in Montgomery County, but in Prince George's County and the District of Columbia as well. Reliability is extremely important to us. We've been looking at this for many years. We are constantly evaluating the system. We're looking for ways to improve our performance across the entire region. The plan that we're talking about today is an enhancement of work that we've had planned for as ongoing activities throughout the areas. Some of these programs have been in place for several years. Others are new, and others we're enhancing them to be able to do more to help speed up the improvement in the reliability. Let me just talk briefly on the different points. The first, enhanced vegetation management. And what we mean by that is we've always done tree trimming. That's always been a standard. But what we're doing with an enhanced program is to be able to go in and remove more of the foliage, more trees further back from the wires. But in addition to that, we're going outside of the right-of-way to identify trees that are dead or diseased, that if they were to fall, they would fall into the wires. So we can proactively go out and remove those trees. In most cases, we have to get the approval of the homeowners. And that's a part of our efforts, is to work with the homeowners, the communities, to get that approval. In other cases, we'll be working to get approval to remove trees and then plant new trees in place of those trees that we had to remove to increase the reliability of the system. So that's where the enhancement is to be able to do more vegetation management than we have traditionally done, and more than was just needed for the electrical clearances of the system itself. When we talk about the priority feeders, as Tom mentioned, this has been a long-standing program for many years. We report annually to the Commission on these individual feeders, the work that we do, and our results. What we found is that in all these cases, we're getting significant improvements. We're getting 50–60% improvement in the reliability after we perform this work. We want to get more than that, so we're going to allocate additional funds to those projects and get more aggressive in the types of programs that we can implement on these feeders. It may mean that we'll have to do some relocation, move the wires to different streets, to even consider very selective undergrounding on some of those feeders in areas where we just can't find any other solution. We'll also be adding automation to the circuits, all activities that are more aggressive to get higher results and better performance from a reliability standpoint. Load growth is an activity that we have always done. We add new substations, we add new feeders to support the load growth. We don't show on this plan here a increase in the expenditures because this is driven by the load. We don't see a need at this point based on a load forecast. We don't anticipate any significant changes in the plan that we already have in our 5-year plan, but this is something we look at every year. And if we identify pockets of the system that are growing faster, there's an increase in load, we'll add new feeders, we'll add money to this project program to be able to handle that future load growth. Distribution automation. That's an activity that back in 2007, we recognized the benefits of being able to move automation further out into the distribution system. In the past, automation was pretty much restricted to the substations and inside the substation itself, where a dispatcher or an operator can automatically control the devices that are located within the building here. With this initiative, we'll be able to put devices out on the distribution circuit, out on the poles, along the streets, putting in devices that not only will the dispatcher be able to operate, but they'll be able to operate on their own. And this was a program in 2007 we started. We developed a test down in Prince George's County, and we operated that for about a year. This is technology that really, I think we're on the leading edge of being able to develop the technology to be able to implement the automation that's necessary on the distribution system. We found significant benefits to the automation in the test pilot, I think Tom mentioned. that in I think we had 5 events over the past year or so, and we had customers that were restored in less than a minute, where in other cases, if you have to dispatch a crew, they have to find the problem, do the switching in the field, it could take several hours. So it not only helps to eliminate the number of customers or reduce the number of customers that are exposed to the outages, but it also greatly enhances the restoration when a customer does have an outage. So that's the automation, the benefits that we see with that. That is a program that we did submit to the federal government and got $15 million for the state of Maryland to help us to accelerate the amount of automation that we put out into the field at no additional cost to our customers. URD cable replacement. URD cable is the underground cable that has been the standard for new subdivisions since the early 70s. And what we find is that, when a lot of talk about what causes outages, what are some of the causes of outages during days when there's no storm. Well, cable failures is one of the causes of those outages. So we have had a program for many years now to identify the areas where the cable is starting to fail and proactively go out and upgrade that cable so that it has another 20, 30 years of life without outages. We found since 2007, we've replaced over 1 million feet of cable throughout the Maryland service area. That's over 230 miles of cable. It's a significant amount of cable that has been replaced and upgraded. That has reduced the number of outages for those locations dramatically. So what we're looking to do is not only continue that program, but add about another 20% to be able to increase the amount of cable faster, get more cable replaced, be able to identify more areas to help reduce the number of outages that may be occurring due to cable failures. Selective undergrounding and substation hardening. Those are combined because this is the new part of the initiative. We've heard our customers talk over the years about why aren't you doing undergrounding? Tom mentioned the huge cost that's associated with wide-scale undergrounding. And I think there are many reports. There are many reports done by different organizations, including the District of Columbia Public Service Commission just recently, that shows that wide-scale undergrounding of existing distribution is not an economic solution. However, if you can identify the points along the line that are contributing to have the greatest contribution to the outages, and look at how you can possibly selectively underground those sections, you can gain the benefits, gain the increased reliability without having to bear the cost of a total underground of the entire circuit. The substation supply hardening is exactly what Tom said. The substations like this one here are not, they're fine. They have not had problems. They haven't been the cause of outages during the storms. It's the supplies. You can look down the street here and you can see that the wires on the top of the pole are the 69,000 volt lines that supply this station. As they go down through the streets, they're exposed to the same vegetation problems that our distribution lines are. The difference is when a tree comes down and takes down the high voltage, the 69,000 volts lines, it's a much, much bigger job to be able to put that back up. It takes more crews. It takes a longer time to be able to do that. In addition to that, if all the supplies to a substation are taken out during a storm, now the entire substation will be out of service. And there you could have upwards of 10,000 customers supplied out of one station that will all be out. Where as long as we can keep the substation in service, then the outages are on the 13 kV line, the 13,000 volt side, the distribution side. It will limit the number of customers that are exposed to an outage. So all these programs, there isn't one answer to say, if we do this, we will increase reliability by X amount. The improvement in the reliability is a combination of all these initiatives. Maintaining adequate capacity within the region, increasing the vegetation management, replacing of cable, maintaining the supplies to the substation. Each of these initiatives will add a certain degree of increased reliability, and together, when you add them all together, this plan over the next 5 years is going to result in a significant improvement in the reliability for our customers.